last name
Delancey.
is? Delancey, and he is the owner of this beautiful 1869, what is it a Victorian?
It's a Second Empire Italianate Victorian era.
Tell us about it.
It's called the Starr Mansion. It's named after Abraham Dubois Starr, and he built the mansion in 1869. He was a very successful businessman after becoming a successful gold miner during the gold rush. But he built the house and a grain mill down the road in 1869, became very successful at manufacturing flour, and that's how he made a lot of his money. And the Starr family owned the property here until 1933, then it was sold to the Rothschild family, and Clarence Rothschild owned it, and the Rothschild family owned it until 2004. So it hasn't had a lot of owners, and Evelyn and I are, and there was a brief third owner, and Evelyn and I are the fourth owners of the Starr Mansion. When we bought the property, it was in really bad shape. The neighborhood saw the property as the local haunted house. It did look like a haunted house. It looked like something straight out of a movie set. So it was pretty challenging restoring it. During the restoration process, it was pretty uncomfortable for me to be here alone. I had the dog with me all the time, but it was real hard for me to feel comfortable working here. It seemed like there was kind of eerie things in the house, and definitely when it started to get dark, I was quick to leave and turn the lights out and go home. I didn't feel comfortable being here alone at night. And during the day when I was working here alone, there were some things going on, mostly with the doorbell. The doorbell would ring and I would go answer the door, and I would open the door and there would be no one there. So I thought eventually some of the kids in the neighborhood were doing doorbell pranks. So to get wise to that, instead of going and answering the door when the doorbell would ring, I would go over to the front window here, which is a bay window, and you can oversee where the porch is. And when I would look out the window, I would see a white or blonde German Shepherd there on the porch. And then I would think, okay, well the dog is ringing the doorbell. So then I would go around and open the door, and the dog wasn't there. And that happened repeatedly, where if I looked out the window I would see a dog, but then when I'd open the door there wouldn't be any dog there, and I would even go outside to see if I could find the dog, and there was no dog around. I would search outside and there was nothing there. So I thought that was pretty strange and kind of weird, that the doorbell would ring and the dog was there ringing it through the window, but then there was no dog there when I would go look. So that made things feel a little more strange in the house, but it took about 6 months for us to restore the house, and then we moved in, and then a couple weeks after we moved in, Evelyn was already in bed, and I went upstairs about a half hour later and got in bed. The lights were out. The bedroom door was locked. So I knew that Evelyn and I were alone in the room, but I was laying on my right side with my back towards the door facing Evelyn, and she was sound asleep, and something came up behind me and poked me, and it was a continuous poke for about 30 seconds with pressure on the back of my shoulder blade. And as I mentioned, it was there for 30 seconds and it didn't go away, and I was really freaked out. I didn't want to turn around to see what it was, and the hairs were standing up on the back of my neck, and it was totally quiet except for one thing. I could hear my heart just racing, and it was going thump, 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 thump. It was really, really loud. I could hear that, my heart beating through my ears. And but that pressure stayed there for 30 seconds, and I didn't want to turn around and see what it was. I just wanted it to go away. And finally it did, and it took me another 2 hours before I could go to sleep, but there was something strange there.
Now, is that room accessible to us tonight?
Mhm. Yeah, that would be the Starr room.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So if you want, I could take. Well, the kitchen, there was an incident in the kitchen just yesterday. I had a visitor yesterday, a friend of mine on Facebook, and we were talking in the parlor about tonight's
Want
activity.
us to go into the kitchen?
Sure. So I had a visitor yesterday, and I was explaining to her what I was going to go over tonight. So I started talking about all these incidents. After my friend left, I came into the kitchen, and suddenly there was a very loud bang. Something like, it sounded like somebody banged on a wall with a fist, like banging to get in. It was just one bang. It just went boom, like that. And it happened right here. Right there. And I was standing right there, and I just looked around. Well, it sounded like it came from over there, but maybe somebody's trying to get my attention outside. So I walked outside, checked to see if anyone was around. No one was around. So
Well, this will be
I don't
another
know what that
area.
was. Yeah,
We'll check this out too.
that was pretty strange. Especially after just talking about the activity that's happened in the past, and then it's been quiet for a while, and then I walk in here after my friend leaves, and then that happens. So maybe I upset something by talking about it.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah.
So I guess that wraps it up for the tour of the house. Dennis, thank you
Oh,
so
you're welcome.
much. Thank you so much for allowing us to come to your home.
Well, thank you.
And I think we will get the team and we'll start getting ready.
Okay.
All right?
Here with Jeff Dwyer, and we are in the parlor area. This might be a really good place for us to start communicating.
Yeah, and we'll start with EMFs and see what shows up with that. That's electromagnetic field
Something's wrong
detectors.
with the camera.
And we're looking for any sign that the ghosts are manipulating the electromagnetic field around this.
So this is what we call a K2 meter. It's a EMF detector, as is this. EMF stands for electromagnetic field frequency. And it measures the electricity in the air, basically, or the energy. Works by, when it picks up energy, it actually lights up these lights. And there's a series of lights that goes from green to yellow, orange to red. So the more energy there is, the more the lights are red zone, that's higher. Another EMF detector, I don't know if you can see it, it's just digital. It, same thing, does the same exact thing, it's measuring the
Everything in this room is emitting some sort of very minor electrical field. And it's fairly stable most of the time unless it's manipulated by a spirit. When the spirit is here, it can change the field in a way that these devices pick up that change. And so that's really what we're looking for, is a change in the background electromagnetic field. And many people think this is a good way to communicate with ghosts, but you have to be very, very careful that you screen the room as you did earlier and take into account not only the electrical devices that may be present, like the cameras, but also people, because we emit a small electric, either through the EMF detectors or through an audio detector, which we'll try in a little while, or through the dowsing rods.
dowsing rods, and that's what these are. These are dowsing rods. Dowsers can use rods such as these. They're typically made out of some kind of metal. These are brass, which is said to be one of the better. They call it divining rods, dowsing rods. A long time ago, they used to call it water witching.
There's a
When
good
you
theoretical basis for this too, just as with the electromagnetic field detectors. If the ghost is manipulating an electric field around us or a magnetic field around us, the rods may respond to that by oscillating or moving in specific directions. And water, of course, emits the electromagnetic field too. So that's why they've been used for centuries, to pick up water sources. They've also been used to find metals hidden in the ground, money hidden in the ground, and also to solve criminal cases where people
For the
looking
rods,
for
for
weapons.
example, we ask them to cross. This is what we would consider a neutral position. We ask for a yes answer that they cross, like this. For an answer of no, that they would
Interesting
reply.
way to look for spirit activity, and sometimes you're not really finding the spirit, but you're finding things that are paranormal, like environmental imprints created by living people who may have been here a century or more ago, who left an imprint on either the metal objects or the piano because of their intense emotional state at the time. Usually intense repetitive emotions create the strongest imprints, whether they're audio or some type of EMF, such as what we're looking for right here.
Exactly. Earlier when we were in here, I kind of did a walk around the room, and there definitely was energy here. I was getting the rods to cross kind of in the center of the room here. And what we'll do here is ask for anybody who might be here. If you'd like to communicate with us, we'd like to ask you to do that. And we're here to be as your friend. Okay, we don't mean any harm. The head of the Rothschild family, Mrs. Rothschild.
Hello, is that you, Helame?
Thank you, Hella May. Thank you for coming forward. Oh, I just got the chills.
There's a change in the energy
Yeah.
in the space right now, right around here.
Yeah, you can feel it. Thank you so much for coming forward. We'd like to be your friends. Are you happy? Thank you. Hella May, are you okay with the renovations that have taken place in this home?
Dennis?
Yes or no? Thank you. Show yourself to Dennis in some way? Okay,
Is there
thank you.
somebody here who plays the piano? Oh.
Can you see that?
Oh, I really felt that go right through my whole body. Okay. Are you a member of the Starr family? No, Ada took piano lessons in the house. Ada, are you here? That's interesting because Ada, you went to Egypt and met a man who you married and never returned to America, but now you're here after your death. So Ada, you've come home to your house. Is that right, Ada? Are you home to your house? Well, I think having the piano wire in here has helped us to make contact with this. When you pick up the energy comes from the rods up your arms, and it's impossible to stay rock solid.
To the audience, what happened to
doing
your
the
wires?
EVP, I felt something touch me on my side, and it was more like a poke, and I turned around to see if anybody was there. I turned around a couple of times because it felt pretty sharp, like somebody was just touching, like saying, hey, and it was right there at the doorway. So one of the members of the house here has felt being touched before in the same way. So we obviously do have something here. We've caught it on tape, and also we've been touched. So it's turned out to be something really interesting.
Wow.
We're just getting started.
Which that I heard come through was more like somebody sighing and saying no at the same time. No. Let me see if I can play it on without the mic.
That's interesting because
There you go.
Ada took piano lessons in the house. Ada, are you here?
I'll play it near the
Play it near the camera.
near the camera so you guys can hear that.
Definitely hear it.
Wow. That's good.
Okay, now I know Ada took piano lessons in the house. Ada, are you here?
Hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're doing an EVP session here in the area. Set it here at top of the microwave. We're actually in here. And we'll start asking
Or
questions.
whoever's here with us, could you please try that again, not twice? Keep getting noises in this other back area. Does anybody know if anything happened in the guest room here?
When I went to the restroom about 10-15 minutes ago, I couldn't find the lights, so I was going to come back and ask if one of the guys knew where the lights were at, and I heard something go right behind me in the room, and I thought it was somebody behind me, but when I looked, everybody was in the other room. Just like creeped me out, so I kind of had to find the lights really fast. I don't get creeped out too easy, but that creeped me out.
Above, like at the top of the pantry, kind of, and like at this doorway.
But
It's
on
like-
the other side?
Well, I did see like this little orb.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Right there?
but it went away really quick.
Okay, you can put all that stuff down. You don't want anything interfering with you. So we're gonna use Haley here. I'm gonna have her walk way deep and see what she senses and feels. It's thicker.
Feels really heavy,
It's
thick in
thicker
here.
in here. I got the chills.
It almost feels like somebody's grabbing on, or like something's squeezing.
It's like more pressure, harder to
Mhm.
breathe.
Yeah, it is. I'm feeling it.
And it has
too.
it's a
It is
different
feeling like it's really closed up in here, a little clammy, and even a smell to the area.
I just got a breeze across my face. Did you feel that?
Yeah, it goes all the way through like this.
It went.
Now it's getting a little colder. Can you feel
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
colder.
Jeff, did you want to ask some questions or do some work
What
here?
I'd like to do is step into the atmosphere right here. There's a different atmosphere just stepping through here.
Mhm, call it, yeah.
Very different.
It's
I was
thick,
in here
very
doing an
thick.
EVP, just asking a couple of questions going through the house. And I actually asked, I said that I had heard from one of the family members that live here in the house that there was somebody walking around poking people. And I asked it if I could get poked, right here. And then a little while later is when I got actually
That's a
poked.
Starr. And this gentleman was a Union Army cavalry officer in the Civil War. Came out here after the Civil War, lived with his brother and his family. And he joined the California militia, which is well known for its activity in the California Indian Wars of the 1870s. And these wars are notable because there were quite a few atrocities committed against the Indians, and apparently Augustus Starr felt badly about that, and we came back to live here, suffered some degree of emotional distress, possibly post-traumatic stress disorder, and that progressed into mental illness, and he eventually was incarcerated at Napa State Hospital, which is just up the road here, and where he died of a heart attack. We don't know the exact date, but it probably was in the 1880s. So he spent a number of years possibly in this room dealing with some emotional distress of some sort. And that probably left some environmental imprints here, which we'll try to pick up on. And because this was a sanctuary for him, his spirit might be here as well. So we'll see what we can pick up.
Okay.
So what should we start with?
Well, we've got the K2 here. We'll move that so everybody can see that. I don't know. Should you want to do dowsing again, or?
We could do some dowsing. We had good success with that downstairs, and let's see what kind of energy patterns we have up here.
Seems like you might understand, being a doctor. You know how he was feeling in his illness. Do you wanna ask some questions and see if you
Sure.
can stir something up?
Okay. Augustus Starr, we're here in your room. We've come to see you. He's responding positively already. So let me ask the obvious question. Augustus Starr, are you here in this room?
Yes. Thank you.
Do you mind if we spend some time with you in this room? Is that a no?
That's neutral.
Okay. We want to communicate with you. We like to know that you're here because we want people to care about you. So may we communicate with you? Can we talk with you a little bit?
Okay, it's a yes.
Do you feel ill? Are you sick? Oh, no, huh? That looks like a no.
No. Thank you. Return to neutral, please.
When you moved to this house after the Civil War, did you feel ill or sick at that time?
Yes.
But now you feel freed of that illness.
Yes.
That fits very nicely with the scenario.
It's great.
Do you like living here with your brother? Maybe. Huh? Is the house too noisy for you? Oh, he's pointing to the source of the noise. Wasn't the children's room across the hall?
Yes.
I don't think he liked being up on this floor with the children.
Either that or Norene.
Oh, he likes Noreen.
Oh.
He does like Noreen. Are you sad about what happened during the California Indian Wars?
Yes.
Do you feel responsible for the atrocities committed against the Indians?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
When you came home to this house, did you feel sickened and very sad about what happened during those wars?
Yes.
Do you like living in Vallejo? Is that a neutral
I think
response?
that's a neutral.
Would you rather live on the East Coast?
Oh, it's a big yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Return to neutral. I'm sorry, did they come from the East Coast?
Let me ask a good question
Okay.
about that. Okay. Do you want to go back to Ohio? No.
It's neutral.
Do you want to live in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you die in this room?
Yes.
That's a conflicts with the history
Yeah,
as we
did you say
understand
he
it,
was in
although
the hospital?
the history is a little vague, perhaps. He may have felt that he was so sick he was near death in this room. Are you sure you died in this room?
Yes.
Do you think that's possible, Dennis? Have you ever been to Napa State Hospital?
No.
That's a big no. Now it's interesting because we may research his life a bit more and find out if he was in fact admitted to that hospital. Maybe he was in another hospital in the area. The one in Sonoma, for instance.
But yes.
Were you in another hospital? That's a yes?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Augustus, were you in a hospital in Sonoma?
Yes.
There was another large state hospital over there, and it's very likely that if he was in the military, he was sent there rather than Napa State, which is clearly for the mentally insane.
Then the Sonoma one is for mentally insane?
No, the Sonoma one is more for military
Okay.
veterans type hospital. That's what that was about. It eventually became an insane asylum in 1894, but that's after Augustus probably passed away. Augustus, were you married? So far as we know, he wasn't. Right?
One story has it he was married and had 2 kids, but no one knows what,
Thank you.
if that was true, no one knows what happened to his wife or children.
Mm-hmm. Augustus, did you smoke cigars?
It's a little yes.
I'm getting a little musty fragrance over here, that's why I asked. Really swinging?
I feel like there's something that he wants you to ask.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of something?
Well, I'm curious about his life here in Vallejo. Augustus, did you go to San Francisco?
Yes.
Did you go to Oakland?
Yes. Thank you.
Do you like the city of Oakland?
It's a little yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you like the city of San Francisco?
Yes.
Of course, yes. Most people would,
Okay.
I think, back in those
Still
days.
pulling on the right
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, return to neutral. It's not gonna go back.
Okay. Get tired?
Pulling, it was just
Yeah.
pulling really hard, I could tell it wasn't not gonna go back.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone sense anything else in this room? I get this little musty odor over here, which might be a remnant of cigar smoke. Anything else?
I sense loneliness.
Do you feel lonely, Augustus?
Yes.
In spite of the busy household, you might have felt isolated up here.
That's sad.
Were you sad while you were living here?
Yes.
Do you have a gun in this room?
Yes. Thank you.
Augustus, have you ever thought about suicide?
Yes. Thank you.
Could he be the person who went into that closet downstairs?
It's possible.
Augustus, did you take your own life in this house? Did you die from a heart attack?
No. Thank you.
Augustus, did you die from a stroke? He's not sure, and that stands to reason he wouldn't be sure. Can you see us in this room? Do you see us in this room? You see her. He likes you.
Hello, Augustus.
Have you ever seen Darlene before?
No. Thank you. Return to neutral, please.
Have you seen me before?
Yes.
I was here earlier this afternoon.
Thank you.
You saw me walking
Were you
around with
here
you,
today?
Dennis.
No.
Oh, you weren't? That's interesting.
Have you seen Karen before? The lady who's holding the rods? Really? Maybe saw you earlier this evening? You haven't been here before, have you?
Oh, no, not prior to getting here earlier today.
Okay, great. Do you have a message you need to tell us?
Sorry, I think it was going that way. I
That's okay.
switched.
It's okay.
All right. Were you pointing at Norene? Yes.
Augustus, I have a recording device in my hand. If you speak to us, we'll be able to hear you through this device. So go ahead and make any noise. Say hello, say your name, tap on the walls. Augustus, say your name. Say your name for us. We'd like to hear from you. If you have a message for us, this is your chance to let us know that you're here. You still want to talk to Norene, huh? Augustus, you're welcome to stay here. I'm sure Dennis doesn't mind that you're here in the house, but for us to care about you and to communicate with you, we need to know that you're here. So make a sound for us.
Just a note, those are dogs barking in the background.
Well, he likes to move the rods, and maybe create the odor of a cigar smoke in here, but that's about all we're getting. I'll play this back. And one evening they came up and found the door shut because there was somebody renting this room for the night, so the dog was scratching on the door. Do you ever play with the people who come to spend the night in this room? Do you touch them, play with them? Tell you not to talk to the people in this room?
Is that a yes or a no?
That's a yes answer.
They were told not to talk to some.
Not to
Tell us
talk.
where you're at in the room right now.
You can use these rods to point to your location.
So what happened to the children?
We don't know.
Did they die from an illness? Obviously.
They didn't want to talk about it. Listen,
That's right. Yes, don't want to talk about it.
What is that?
It's the window.
and what's doing it?
I don't know. It just did it right in my face.
It's like, it sounds like fingers.
Is it
Does that
the
normally
wind?
do that?
Does it normally do that?
No, unless it's really windy outside.
It just moved right.
I heard that too. Was that somebody's stomach? Well, I heard that. I heard that.
The dresser?
Yeah, I've heard it. That's the second time I heard it, but I thought maybe it was Lewis. Are you moving it at all?
You want me to tell them about the Starr room? Okay, so we're in the Starr room on the second floor of the Starr Mansion, and this is the room where Dennis felt the poke on his shoulder. That was he was in bed, and it was about a 30-second poke. Like he was explaining, like, and here's his shoulder, and it was like just constant on his shoulder like that. And he said he didn't turn around to see what was there because he didn't want to know.
No.
So that's what happened in this room. The connecting room was Mrs. Starr's room. So there could be some energy here from that too. So whose room was this originally then? This one?
We think it was Mrs. Starr's room.
It was the two
This-
rooms together.
yeah, this is a
combined
suite.
With Mrs. Starr.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is a
remember you told
two-room
us that.
suite.
Okay. So Norene, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to ask questions or?
Yeah, Luce, do you have any questions you would want to ask? You feeling anything, Louis?
Feeling anything yet?
Dennis, do you have any questions since you live here?
Is this Mary Ann Starr's room? Is Mary Ann Starr here?
That's a no. Return to neutral, please.
Is Helen May Rothschild here?
Yes. Thank you.
Is Clarence Rothschild here?
Yes. Do you have any other questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was this your favorite room of the house?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Was this your bedroom?
Yes. Thank you.
Did you and your husband spend a lot of time in this room? No.
No. Thank you.
Are there more than one person here? Is it just yourself? Am I speaking to Mary Ann? Am I speaking to Mr. Starr?
No,
No.
thank you.
Give me a name.
Try Ada. Ada Starr.
Is this Ada Starr I'm speaking to?
No. Thank you.
Are you the person that poked me downstairs?
Yes. Thank you. Can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
Are you the person that poked Dennis? Yes.
Yes. Very strong yes.
Are you trying to be playful with your poking? Was that a really dumb question?
They didn't answer you, Karen.
Are you angry? No. When you're poking people, are you trying to scare them? No. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
With your poking, is that just you're trying to get their attention?
Yes.
That's a yes.
Thank you.
So with your poking, then, do you want Dennis to know that you're there? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, but we don't know who you are. Have we mentioned your name yet? No. Are you somebody that used to live in this house? Yes.
Yes.
Do you know the name of the person who actually passed away here? Or the speculated one?
I don't know of anyone that passed away other than the rumor somebody got shot in a closet or shot themselves in a closet. I don't know the name of the person.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Were you the person who... Oh, you're standing next to me. I can feel it too.
Thank you.
You know what I'm going to ask? Are you the person that passed away in this house by shooting themselves?
Oh, yes.
Do you have a name?
What was that?
No.
I heard that.
Can you try to tell us your name in the recorder? It's got the little red light on it. Lewis is touching it right now. Just say your name in there as loud as you can. And we can listen to it later, and then we'll be able to hear your name.
Just moving around.
Yeah.
Feels cold over this way.
Can you point where you are in the room?
Really feels cold right here.
So
Thank
you're
you.
you're standing next to Lewis?
I think he's right
Right in here.
in here. Maybe.
Yeah, 'cause it feels cold right in this spot. Really chilly.
Did you bring your thermometer with you?
It's right there, that orange thing. You just point that thing at where you want it to go and push the button.
I'm getting 70.6. 67.3. Just checking one more spot. 67.1.
But where you are, it's warm?
It's warmer.
It's a little bit warmer. 70.
Yeah. Are you a man? Yes.
That's a yes.
Were you the head of this house? No.
Did he
Thank
live
you.
in this house?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
earlier we asked a couple of questions of if there was any males in this house. Are you banned from this house?
No.
Are you not supposed to be in this house?
No.
Bird.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you welcome in this house? It's a no.
No.
That doesn't make any sense. Thank you.
Do you know that you're in this house?
Thank you.
Yes. That's a yes.
Yes. Did you die in this house? Did you take your own life in this house? Yes.
You just hear a pop outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a shot?
It could have been. I don't know. No, it sounded like either somebody dropping something or a pop.
That was something outside. Sounded like a pop.
I twitched. Sorry. They're starting to move a lot.
Can you read our mind?
Yes. Thank you. Are you sad? Yes. I'm sorry. Is there anything that we can do to help you? Thank you. Are you pointing at Lewis? Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you like me to do something to help you?
Yes.
Can you talk into this recorder that I'm holding in my hand with the red light? You see it? Can you talk into it and let me know what you want? I will listen to it, and then I will do my best to try to help you. I'm Lewis. State your name into here.
My name's Karen. It's nice to meet you. I'd like to know your name.
Keeps pointing at Lewis.
Do you feel a connection to Lewis? Yes.
Lewis, talk Spanish and see what happens.
¿Hablas español?
Whoa, whoa.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
I asked you the question if it spoke Spanish, and it just swung right over me.
Does that mean, do you speak Spanish? Yes or no? Yes. I think he likes you a whole lot better than me.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Me puedes decir tu nombre aquí en la grabadora? I asked it if it could tell me its name into the recorder, and it said yes. ¿Tú sabes que estás muerto? I asked it if he knew if it was dead.
Said yes.
¿Necesitas ayuda?
What did you ask him?
I asked him if it needed help.
And he keeps
and he
pointing
keeps
to you.
pointing to me.
Does he prefer that you speak to him in Spanish? Ask him.
¿Prefieres que hable en español contigo?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Was he Spanish?
¿Eres de descendencia española?
No.
Eres,
It's a no.
Return to neutral.
eres hispano?
What'd you ask?
I asked him first if he was Spaniard. Said no. Then I asked if he was Hispanic, and he said yes.
Mm.
Big difference, I guess.
Is that, well, during that time, that was
Mexican Indian.
probably, it could have made a big difference, I would imagine, right?
One's from Spain and one.
Well,
Yeah.
Spain and Hispanic were always at fighting against each other.
Yeah, right.
Was he a worker here?
¿Eras un trabajador aquí?
Yeah.
Yes. Big yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
¿Me puedes decir de qué moriste? I asked if he could tell me what he died from.
Return to neutral, please.
¿Tú
So-
solo te quitaste la vida?
Wow. What'd you ask him?
I asked him if he took his own life. He just keeps coming
Keeps
this way.
pointing to you. Did we establish that, did he say that he did commit suicide here?
We asked him if he
Yeah,
shot himself.
and
if
he
was
said
the person who
yes.
shot himself here, and he said yes.
And then we asked if he took his own life, and he said yes. If it's the same person.
Cuando nos atocas a nosotros, ¿estás pidiendo ayuda?
Wow, big yes.
Yes.
I asked him if, when he's touching people, is that his way of asking for help?
Oh.
He said yes.
So is he the one that's touching Dennis?
He's, yes.
Yes. Big yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So does he want Dennis to help him as well?
¿Quieres que te ayude, Dennis?
Yes.
Yes.
He keeps what can you do for him, Lewis?
¿Qué es lo que puedo hacer por ti? ¿Me puedes decir aquí en la grabadora qué es lo que puedo hacer por ti? Háblame, explícame todo lo que tú quieres que yo haga por ti y yo hago lo posible por hacerlo todo. I asked him to say everything he wanted to say on the recorder, any kind of help that he wanted, and I'll try my best to do anything he wants.
Is he stuck here?
¿Estás atorado aquí?
Really?
Yes.
Is that because he committed suicide?
Return to neutral.
¿Tú crees que estás atorado aquí porque cometiste suicidio?
No.
Return to neutral, please.
Okay. Is he afraid to move on? Because he committed suicide.
Yes, said yes.
He just said this?
Yeah.
He's Catholic.
Yeah, probably.
¿Eres católico?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sad.
Can you tell him
I
that
do
he...
feel sad.
Can you
Feels like-
tell
it
him
feels
it's...
like, it feels like this, like something's like really pouring down on me like this.
Oh, tell him it's okay. That he will be forgiven. He can just go to the light. Tell him that. No, he wants you to help him, Lois. Tell
I'm
him in
starting to get really
Spanish.
sad.
Well,
I'm getting tears in my eyes.
Don't, honey. Tell him in Spanish that it's okay. He can go.
Está bien, yo te voy a ayudar en todo lo que yo pueda para que puedas cruzar para el otro lado.
I can't keep him from going to you. I'm gonna try it this way.
Does he ever see the
So
light?
now I point him at him, and it
It's-
just crosses.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna uncross.
Yeah, he's just right here. He's very sad. I can feel the sadness. I mean, it's just totally making me sad. I'm not a sad person. En cuanto yo sepa qué es lo que necesitas que yo te ayude, te voy a ayudar. I told him as soon as I know what kind of help he needs, I will help him.
Should we give him like 30 seconds of silence to talk if he needs to say something on the recorder?
Tómate todo el tiempo que tú necesites, te vamos a dar 1 minuto de silencio para que tú hables aquí en esta grabadora. ¿Si la miras? 30 segundos a 1 minuto. Di todo lo que tú quieras. So we're gonna give him a minute silence to see if he can say whatever he wants into the recorder.
Okay. I don't know how to do that, but we can find somebody who can.
Ask him, have he, you know, from what I understand, they're all shown the light. Has he seen the light at all?
It's
No.
answering you.
So he's seeing darkness? Are you seeing darkness, hon? No.
No. Si sabes para dónde poder caminar y nomás no quieres. I asked him if he knew which way, if he knew his way to get to where he needs to go, and he just doesn't want to, and that's.
Is your
Is he
something?
afraid?
¿Tienes miedo a algo? ¿Hay alguien que le tengas miedo?
He's
He's
afraid.
afraid.
Because
He's
he
afraid of somebody
Or of his
or
religion?
something.
Are you afraid of being judged? He's not talking to me.
Go ahead, Jay. He's talking to Lewis. Go ahead,
¿Tienes
Lewis.
miedo de saber de que te van a juzgar? Yes.
Did you ask the same thing?
Yeah. If he was afraid of being judged.
Does he try to communicate with people that come into this house?
Yes.
Yes.
¿Has tratado de comunicarte con muchas personas?
Yes.
I asked him if he's tried to communicate with a lot of people, and he has.
Does he get frustrated because they can't communicate back with him?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking the questions as you're asking me. I'm thinking it
Yeah.
is just going right to, I guess, or it's directly to you. He seems to be responding to you very well.
Did you take your own life? Okay. Just wanting to confirm.
Do you know of any other names who?
Lydia. Let's see.
Males?
Karen, do you need to sit down? Is there a chair?
There's the steps right there.
Yes, on the step. I'll tell you what they say. How about that? You won't be able to see it from here. Just give me a quick break.
Yeah, you know, the light, if we could get that light on her a little bit, Jim. If you could move in here. Yeah, it's a little hard to see.
I'll stand up again in a minute.
That's all right. It's a little hard to see the rods.
It's harder for me to do this sitting down anyway.
Oh, is it?
And it really
Oh.
is, yeah.
It got warmer.
Did it?
Yeah, really warm.
You're fine now.
Oh, when I was sitting down, was that
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
No,
you were in the dark.
I was aware of that.
Yeah, it was at 65 before over here in this area. Now it's at 70. Yeah, it's all at 70 back here now.
Should I ask him a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Were you the cook here? No.
No.
Okay.
I heard that. I don't know what it was.
Like right out there somewhere, almost like somebody's tapping on a pipe or something.
I heard that.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that.
Huh.
Were you a handyman? Yes? They've had a handyman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why did he commit suicide?
¿Por qué cometiste suicidio? ¿Nos puedes decir por qué? Can't tell us why.
Is he not allowed to tell us?
¿No nos puedes decir? ¿Alguien te lo prohíbe?
No.
He just doesn't want to tell us?
¿Tienes miedo de decirnos? Yeah, asked if he was afraid to tell us why.
And he said
He
yes.
said yes.
Did he? No. Well, did he do something wrong?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Did you hurt somebody? Thank you. We're not here to judge you. We're still your friend.
Ask him if he knows that we're his friend. We've come here in friendship. Yes. Okay.
Did you kill somebody?
Partial yes.
Yeah, it almost went to yes, and then it's saying neutral.
Did he hurt somebody really bad? Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
So, okay, I bet what happened, maybe he hurt somebody, got in a fight with them, and they ended up dying after. He might not have killed them, but they probably died afterwards from injuries, I bet.
Right here.
It's picking up on your energy. It's crossing.
When you put your hands underneath it and above it, it's just like really warm.
Really?
So if we were to tell you that we don't think that you'll be judged if we help you cross over, even if you did hurt somebody really badly. Okay. I was going to say, would you like our help?
¿Quién quieres que te ayude? He does want our help.
He does.
Just reiterate it one more time.
So what do we do?
We're going to have to find somebody to help him.
Is that okay with you, Dennis?
Mm-hmm.
Vamos a traer a alguien que te pueda ayudar para que encuentres la luz y puedas llegar a donde necesitas ir a tu destino. ¿Sí? ¿No lo permites?
Yes.
Told him we were going to find somebody to come and help him out if he would permit it. Said yes.
Ask him if he was the one that talked to you when you were down in that closet.
No.
No, so it's somebody else.
Something's touching me right here. Felt cold too.
Mm.
Cold touch.
Ooh.
Let me get this
I felt the cold come over here a little, like I felt the draft coming off
I
you.
remember I was just taking the temperature and it was warm.
What is it now?
It's actually still 69 back here, 68, 67. And it was just 70, just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
66.
Really? 66?
Mm-hmm.
It's cooler.
That's a big jump. All right, we'll have to get him help.
I know. It's like there's a lot of energy right here.
Does he just stay in this room or does he follow people around? Okay, so.
No, but I don't know what that was an answer to. You kind of asked a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay, ask one question.
Do you follow people around? Yes.
So, okay.
So you came in here because you heard our voices.
Yes. But you really like Lewis?
Yes.
I'm gonna go stand over there. I'm feeling like really.
All right. Well,
like
do you want to?
like going
Do you
like
want
this.
to? Do you want to move on then? Do you want to go
Okay,
to another
everybody,
location? Thank you for joining Paranormal Zone TV, and thank you, Dennis, for letting us come to this beautiful mansion and do.